Uganda, good evening and welcome to this edition of the Hot Seat on 933 KFM. I welcome you, our listeners across this beautiful land, the Pearl of Africa. My name is Patrick Kamara. Now, he was appointed in December 2020. In May 2024, after only 4 years, he writes asking for early retirement. He was appointed as Deputy Director General of Uganda Investment Authority. So my guest tonight is the outgoing Deputy Director General UIA, Dr. Paul Kyalimpa. Thank you so much for joining us. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, my brother Kamara.
So tonight we'll be looking into on why Dr. Kyalimpa, you resigned, the queries at the Uganda Investment Authority, and the investment environment in Uganda. But for many people, those who know you and those who do not, and those who have read about you, and me who is meeting you in the studio tonight, I see an energetic, with all respect, young man, given an opportunity to serve his country in 2020. Only 4 years later, throwing in the towel to resign. The question from my listeners and those who know you, perhaps it would be, why?
Thank you, Kamara, my brother. Thank you for our listeners. Once again, I'm Dr. Paul Kyalimpa, the Deputy Director General for Uganda Investment Authority, who asked for a retirement in May this year. And according to the procedures, my notice, I'm supposed to give 3 months notice, so I'll be vacating in August. And virtually, there are 2 or 3 key drivers. The first one, when I came to this office, I realized that I've been facilitating many investors, local and international. Uganda is a land of opportunities, and me, traditionally, by birth, I first went to do the business before I went to school. So I've seen a lot of business opportunities. The first thing I wanted...
At what age do you go to school, Dr. Kyalimpa?
At 12 years.
At 12 years, you're in which class were you going?
That's P1.
So you, for the first couple of years, you're doing business. Dr. Kyalimpa, is that true? Yes,
because we are from the Revolutionary War, where my father worked with the General Museveni as a rebel. At that time, we call it. I was a younger man supporting my father, but after that, the war had ended. As a younger man, we first did the business before I joined the formal class.
Okay, I'm almost trying to digress, but let's get back to the business.
So I have seen a lot of investment opportunities, so I've decided actually first I want to be a local investor. And there are many opportunities, and I've registered about 3 businesses, if you check with your RSB. 2, I have some other, I got a scholarship for postdoctoral training for 1 year, but according to Uganda Investment Authority, public service, they can't allow that when you're still serving. But also, my period for the contract was ending next year in 2nd February. You can call it December this year. There's no difference. So when you do the assessment, you can see that if you have those opportunities, you can do a cost-benefit analysis assessment.
But you know,
and also I got some other assignment with an international firm, which conflicts with being a public officer.
So for those who are listening to you, Dr. Kyalimpa, is it because you want to go to business? Is it because you want to pursue a doctoral academic journey? Is it because you see that your contract is coming to an end? What is it?
No, what I see is that actually when you're a private entrepreneur, listen, I have been listening to the teaching of the president. The president has said the public servants are parasites. They actually pick from the government. What he needs is more the entrepreneurs, the business people, the investors.
And me, President Museveni, I'm going to listen to the president once in 10 years. That has been his speech for the last 10 years. So even when you appointed in 2020, that was his speech.
I did not see the opportunities, but now I've been facilitating other investors, and I've seen the opportunities. I want to go and create more impact by being an investor, creating more employment opportunities, generating more wealth for myself and the country, and more taxes for Uganda. That's more beneficial beneficial than being a parasite by just taking taxpayers' money. So you are going to see me more as an investor and entrepreneur, other than any other thing.
Was your job as Deputy Director General Uganda Investment Authority beneficial to Uganda?
Very much.
So why wouldn't you want to continue in that role, benefiting Uganda?
I think when you compare the benefits in terms of the value adding, when I'm a Deputy Director General, and the people can do that, and also the entrepreneurial competencies and capacity.
You want to count your chicks before they hatch?
No. I have already businesses, about 3 of them, which I'm running, which require me to be full-time there, which now I don't have enough.
Are these businesses thriving?
Yes, definitely.
But if they are thriving and you're still serving Uganda, then why are you changing a winning formula?
There are many people who can be Deputy Director Generals, as opposed to being entrepreneurs creating more opportunities.
So the person listening to you tonight, Dr. Kyalimpa, would say at the moment when the Uganda Investment Authority is in the eye of the storm, your minister who supervises you is accusing you of, awarding your sellers 500 million. The spotlight is on you, you're throwing in the towel. Don't you think Ugandans are going to deduce that, conclude that actually you are leaving an area that is messy?
If I could ask you, when did this matter come up? When for you, as a media, you listen, you got to know about it? Because my retirement was allowed in May, last financial year. This matter has come in the new financial year now. And I want to confirm to you that there is nothing that is as wrong regarding the honoraria. When you talk about honoraria in the government, it is called extra duty allowance. And in public service, under section E, subsection C, on page 87, honoraria is an extra duty allowance for an employee who performs extra work beyond his...
But this is the work that was not yet even complete, was not yet even 50% complete.
No.
According to your supervisor. But also writing to the donor, asking for 500 million of a job that's not yet even complete.
Actually, that's why it's an opportunity that I'm here. I can help to clarify for you that in August 2019, Uganda Investment Authority entered a contract with a supervisor for the project. It's a consortium. Rafton, the national sender, basic group for Uganda, to help to give support to to supervise the industrial park infrastructure development project, which is undertaken by Lagan Namanve Limited.
Yes.
Now, at that time, in that contract, the technical in the arrangement of the contract, what is supervisory contract, UIA has staff that can be able to support the project, but because there are certain skills or competencies which we do not have, that's why we hire a consultant. But in around September 2022, the contractor's contract, the contract for the supervising consultant was terminated.
So you hired an entity to handle some sections because you don't have the competence there. But at the end of the day, you also get an honoraria.
No. This is what I want to explain to you. So when their contract was terminated, there was a gap in terms of supervising the project. But according to the project funds, which the government of Uganda borrowed, they borrowed 2 lines of budget. One for the infrastructure development.
Yes.
The second line was for project management for UIA. So the amount which was for UIA is 7.7 million euros for project supervision. Under that, we recruited project management staff. Also, we give some for allowances. There's money for allowances for projects for UIA staff who are given extra duties as and when it is required to support the project management team. So when the contract for the supervising consultant ended, was terminated, there was a gap, and we presented this to the board and the project steering committee at the Ministry of Finance, who allowed UIA to recruit specific skills staff, temporary staff. As the procurement process was going on to replace the supervising consultant, we recruited some specific staff, but also deploy some staff at UIA who would have skills for legal aspects, finance, administrative aspects to support the project. And this proposal looking at the cost-benefit analysis, was presented to the board and steering committee, who okayed it according to the calculations they made. In the period when the procurement took place, if the contractor had been the one, the consultant had been the one working, the government of Uganda would have spent 6.4 billion. But for the period when we supervised and provided this support, we only paid 500 million. We saved the government of Uganda 5.9 billion.
Okay, you know, you're saying this is allowed in public service, but look, under a country that is going through austerity measures, a country whose economy is struggling, you, Dr. Kyalimpa, and your company are expected to perform a duty for which you are paid for a salary. You still go and even defend an award of 500 million? That is what you're supposed to have done anyway.
That's not our award. What I'm saying.
But isn't that what you're supposed to have done anyway?
No. I'm not employed to work.
So that was not within your docket?
I'm not employed to supervise and manage the project. The project is separate from UIA mainstream work. And for example...
So you're saying this was entirely away from your work?
Yes, because in my appointments...
How does it come?
My appointments which I have, I'm not appointed to supervise a project as a project staff. Actually, that's why we employed external consultant according even to the project plan or operation.
So why did you cut out a project? Why did you cut out an undertaking that is not supposed to be in your docket?
Minister of Finance source for this money, and the dedicated UIA.
Dr. Kyalimpa and company, why did you undertake to supervise something that is out of your docket?
This is what they call additional tasks.
So additional task is within your mandate, within the salary that you're being paid for.
No. These are additional tasks which are over and above what we were employed to do in my line of responsibility.
But then, if that's additional, how come that your boss writes to, is it Lagarde?
Yes.
Writes to Lagarde, really, a letter which I've seen a copy, I hope it is authentic, from your minister, and I'm wondering, how does Uganda Investment Authority, ED, write asking for money from an entity?
No. Actually, this is the question. This is the clarification. This money, which is the project management funds, it was supposed to be transferred to the Bank of Uganda account, which is under the name of UIA, and that account is there. And I will read it for you here, the number, even if you want to find out. But Lagan wanted to charge a 25% interest on that money, and we wrote to Attorney General. And the Attorney General said you should not charge that profit or administrative fee. Instead, we should be, as we deal with this dispute, it was registered as a dispute, we should be sending there our request for payment. It should be paying the money as you solve this matter. But in the next extension of the project extension contract, now this has been solved. The money for project supervision is going to go to the Bank of Uganda account under UIA, and will be the one managing it.
Explain to us again, who is Lagarde in this case?
Lagarde is the contractor. But the contractor...
How does the ED...
The contractor...
How does the ED write the contractor asking for 500 million, even though you say...
No, because he's the one still holding this money and is supposed to transfer the money. Now the challenge is, which is unresolved, which is a dispute, is that this money is supposed to be transferred to Bank of Uganda account under UIA.
Okay, Dr. Kyalimpa, we're going to take a break and the hot seat will be right back. Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the hot seat. My name is Patrick Kamara, and my guest this evening is Dr. Paul Kyalimpa, the outgoing Deputy Executive Director of Uganda Investment Authority. He was appointed in 2020, and 2024 he's put in his resignation for early retirement because he says he wants to go into business, he wants to have his doctoral, to do his PhD, he wants to do many things, and he thinks he could add value to himself and Uganda more as outside as a public, as opposed to being a public servant. But now I want to go back to the issue that has caused a lot of quagmire, because really your name, the name of the ED and the other 14 colleagues has been in the eye of the storm. The Minister of State for Investment, the Honorable Evelyn Anite, was a couple of days ago seated in that very chair where you are, having so many letters, including the letters in which your boss was written to Lagarde, and another letter where he was saying, okay, disregard that earlier letter asking for money, and another letter where he's saying, show me your account and I will bring back the money that you gave us to us. What is this?
Actually, the major problem was caused by failure by the money of the contractor who received the whole sum of the money. The donor actually, because the contractor was involved in mobilization of money for this infrastructure. So the funding agreement, all the money came on the account of the contractor. However, 7.7 million euros was supposed to be transferred to Bank of Uganda account under UIA. However, the contractor said he can transfer that money.
Yes, sir.
However, I want an interest and administrative cost of 25%. And when we wrote to the Attorney General, I advised it that amount should not be charged. And when we wrote again to the contractor, he refused to transfer, and that was registered as a dispute. But in the interim, when we went to the board and the steering committee of the project, they advised, in the interim, as you solve this matter as a dispute on the project, let the contractor be paying us. But we raised the issue of ethics. We said, how can someone whom we are supervising hold our money for project management, pay our staff salary, when actually they are the ones supervising him, our project staff? Currently, our project staff are paid by the contractor, not from his money, but from the money which he holds on which is our money, which has not actually moved to our account, which is the Bank of Uganda. Now, this is the challenge. Now, the minister actually did not have this information, and actually thought it is the contractor who was paying us from his money and infrastructure money. But I can give you a copy of the agreement which I have here, the contract between the UIA, the Minister of Finance, and the contractor, where that money is supposed to move from the contractor 7.7 million euros to Bank of Uganda account, which was opened up today. He has never delivered the money. Now, if that money had been under your account, actually, this matter should not have arisen. Would have been paid from government of Uganda.
So it should have, the letter should have said, send the money to the Bank of Uganda account, and then you write to Bank of Uganda.
I'm saying that we have copies of those letters which were sent. But the contractor said I can send. But he said I can have copies here where he responded, said it's okay, it's your money, I can send it. But under the contract, there was a clause which indicated that in any transaction we have to move money, he will charge 35%. The people who approved this contract, they did not see that clause. Actually, it is there.
So, but eventually the money was sent to your account?
No. He still has the money. I want to confirm that to you.
There is a letter,
yes,
written from Uganda Investment Authority Lagard,
yes,
telling us that show us the account so that your money can.
Now that's a different thing. That matter was on the refund. Do you know that the ED actually, when I tried to find out, because he was given 24 hours within which to respond, if he had not responded, he would be interdicted for insubordination. What he did actually was to overcome insubordination. If you don't act within the 48 hours,
so you do the wrong thing.
No. He asked for the account as this matter was being handled.
So how does it? Where was he getting the money from?
No. This is what when we had.
Because he's asking for the account to return the money after the pressure.
Because of the pressure, when we met as management.
But where was he getting the money from to return to that?
This is the matter. Let me explain. That he wrote himself. But we told him we are here as management, okay? Under public service procedures, money is not returned in that procedure. There should be an entity or a formal way in which money is returned. For example, we said as management.
Wait a minute, Dr.
We sat.
You are saying the money had not hit the Uganda Investment Authority account or accounts of members of staff. Here is your boss writing, asking for the account number to return the money. Which money was he returning?
The money I'm referring to is the project management money, 7.7 million euros, which was supposed for project management. On the honoraria money, I think that's what you're referring to. The honoraria money, what I can confirm to, we are paid genuinely that money because of 4 reasons. 1, we worked and the reports. 2, we got appointment letters for extra duties. The third one is that this money is provided for in the project budget for the project as honoraria for UIA staff, approved by the board of UIA. and as well as in the project operation manual, it provides for deployment of staff for UIA to support the project, and the staff who are deployed, given additional responsibilities, would be given honorarium. So even the public service procedure, the HR manual, in the project operation manual, in the budget approved by the UIA board, all this money is provided for, and we got appointments, we did the work, submitted the report, and we were paid genuinely. I want to confirm to you, this money will pay genuinely and will not be refunded because we did the work. And there was no bonus or an award. Actually, it is an allowance paid. If you got public service procedures, it defines extra duty allowance to include even sitting allowance, which MPs get. People who are in commissions, when they sit at the contracts committees, the government, they get allowances when they sit there. They get those allowances, and then if you are given an appointment where you are given additional work, which on the honorarium they charge this, the money is charged and calculated on per day you have worked, because the payment, the deployment is not full time or for the whole month. For the period when we did the procurement process, and when we got a new contractor, our work stopped immediately, and the new contractor went on to do to take on our work.
How long were you supervising this?
We did this for 6 months, for which now we are paid this money. If you look at and this money we are talking about is gross money. For UIA staff, it is 280-something million, which you are talking about, and it's gross. And if you remove like 30% of the taxes, which are supposed to be charged on that money.
Some of you are earning 80 million, 70 million.
No. Per month, when you talk about that allowance, it goes about 3.
What you carried home about 70 million?
3 million per 3 million per month for additional responsibility, what you are talking about. If you remove the taxes.
So are you saying your supervising ministry has all this wrong? Because I have seen, the Honorable Evelyn Anita going all guns blazing after you guys.
The question you should be asking is simple. That, for example, this project has been audited. The Auditor General has not raised this matter. This project has been audited by Ernst & Young, external auditor. They have not said this is an issue. But also, as UIA, we report to the board. The board has not said you have committed the wrong. As technical staff, we report to PSST with the Ministry of Finance. It has not said that you have committed any wrong. And not any other person. Now, in the government, as you know, as a minister, or if you have evidence, you are supposed to present this to the right authorities who investigate, who charge these people. Haven't you seen even people who are just suspected being taken to police, even remanded? For example, let me give an example, which is it's unfortunate. For example, when the executive director for Mulago Hospital was suspected to have been involved in what we call corruption, the PS for Ministry of Health interdicted him as investigations were going on. Is it the minister who did that interdiction? This is a technical line where the technical for institutions, agencies like you have, like ours, the minister ends at appointing the board, and the board takes charge and the responsibility. So, but the minister does not come to look at individual staff, the expenditures and all that. Has measures and so has
the board under the chairmanship of Morrison Okakamba flagged this off.
Have you seen them presenting and saying, actually, we took the money and Irongiri and it was not done properly? You should be actually asking the board who supervises us, not the minister, because the minister ends at appointing the board and asking the board to account. And for us, technically, we respond to the board and take to the board in terms of governance, but also technically to the PSST. So these institutions which are supposed to come to investigate this.
For the project that you are supervising, for which you receive this honoraria, at what...
Call it extra work duty allowance.
Yes, but you call it a service award.
No, it is extra duty allowance because we are given appointments, we worked, we had the reports.
But how far has that project even gone? Because it's not concluded.
Honoraria is paid, is calculated, the payment for honoraria is calculated per day. Is not calculated for end of the project because we are not deployed on project permanently. We are only deployed for the period when the procurement was taking place to replace constructor.
So how far is that work itself?
According to the reports, we need about 9 months based on the extension in order to finish the project. Let me tell you what delayed the project. When this project started in 2019, we had lockdown. And the extension now we are talking about for 8 or 9 months so is because of the effect of lockdown, where there are no movements of people, materials, and even our staff, even myself, I was in lockdown, I was not moving. This is the reason why the project was extended, because of the effect of lockdown, to cover for that period. And otherwise, the project could have been finished.
Dr. Kyalimpa, hold on to your point, because we're going to take a break and the hot seat will be right. Come back to 933 KFM, and this is the hot seat. My name is Patrick Kamara. And my guest tonight is Dr. Paul Kyalimpa, outgoing Deputy Executive Director for Uganda Investment Authority. But do you realize, Dr. Kyalimpa, that you are living at a time, not the best of times for you to live? Even though you asked for resigning last year, you want to move now. What a time.
No, actually, I want to tell you, there is no specific time when, which is specific, that's when somebody should retire. You get into employment on your own decision, and when you want, the provisions of the law are very clear. Even UIA, the institution, can say we don't need your services. They have 2 options: one, to give me a notice of 3 months, or to pay me the 3 months in advance. You remember the case which was heard in the courts for Stanbic Bank employee. They said they no longer needed them. They went to court. They thought they would win. No, the employer and the employee are delivered to say, I've ended here, I have some other work to do. So they have that right. And whether the institution has challenges or not, and I want to tell you, the Honoria thing is not a challenge, because it was misconceived. People do not know what Honoria is. It is an extra duty allowance for work done, and they pay you per day because you are standing in temporarily for another person.
So what are you telling your mother ministry and the minister who was seated in that very chair
and I'm saying
3 days ago, thinking you abused that office and misused the public resources, and she's taking this case the highest places possible? And actually, there was this time, I'm told, when even the Inspectorate of Government came to offices in January.
I want to confirm that, one, this is a technical matter. And
why was the IGG officials interested in your office?
Let me just the first one. I want to confirm to you that the technical people, this is a technical matter, and the technical people know this is a payment was done genuinely, and that's why they are not concerned about it. 2, the relevant agencies like the Auditor General or these other ones, and the audit reports are clean, and you will not see anything about it. 3, about the Auditor General, the IGG. The IGG today is only proactive, like beyond the last time what it was used to be. Previously, it would wait to be reported to a case, but the IGG mandate as an inspectorate is an inspector, inspects all government institutions, and can come at any time to assess your performance and the compliance, and actually do advisory. I've been to many institutions where on the boards where the Inspector General has come and has audited and reviewed the performance of our institutions and had advised on the corrective measures to make, but they have not arrested anybody. Today, it is more proactive than previously it used to be. The inspectorate can come to any institution at any time without even notice. That's their mandate.
So are you saying that all this that has been talked about, including allegations coming from the minister, are geared at maligning your name?
Not necessarily, but according to me, there was a lack of information and clarity about what is Honoria, the procedures that were taken, and why this money was paid by the contractor who refused to transfer our money for project management, 7.7 million euros to government of Uganda, UIA account, and Bank of Uganda, from which we should have paid. So people were actually surprised. Why is it the contractor who was paying this money? He refused to transfer this money to Bank of Uganda account for UIA, but this money belongs to UIA. So this is the challenge, and to us, this will be corrected. It is an opportunity. 2, in the new project extension arrangement, this problem has been solved. The management money, project management money for UIA will go to directed to our account, and shall pay from there. And this issue will not rise. And in my view, it is an issue of information, and it is the issue of failing to move this money from the contractor to a account. If it had been moved there, you would hear that we paid from our own account, and this would not have come up.
You know, all this has been understood to mean that Dr. Kyalimpa has seen has seen the storm coming.
But we have,
and you decided to
but
jump
we
ship.
have 14 staff we are talking about.
Yeah, Dr. Kyalimpa and company. You have decided.
But we are telling we have 14 staff here, and me.
But you can save your neck. You
not saving my neck, and I want to confirm to you that I retired earlier. But also, if the law or the legal entities or units which are in charge of this money of audits and compliance say we got the money wrongly, although we worked. I even have the money today, I can pay. But I want to confirm to you, they will not say so. Why? Because there was a gap in terms of supervising the contractor, which we filled. We saved the government 5.9 billion, which could have been spent. 3, this money is provided for in the budget, which was approved by the board, as well as in all the manuals and the policy documents, which we followed and were paid genuinely. So because I can confirm to you, this money will not be refunded because we got it genuinely.
But the minister has called it mismanagement of the authority, abuse of power, of the office that you have, corruption. That's what your minister is saying.
In your own context, do you think that there are no agencies that will have swung into action to address this matter if it was genuine? And she has her right to say whatever she wants, but she knows actually the procedures of addressing this matter if actually it was wrong. And but she has the right as our boss to say anything she wants. But for us as technical people under public service, we have rules and procedures which we follow. And I cannot here to talk about my supervisor or the minister.
But it's because you have threatened to go to court through your lawyers. I think they have written the Alak and company advocates who threatened to sue the minister.
And now
isn't that the case?
That is the case because I have lawyers who care about my reputation, and in their view,
these lawyers,
this matter.
These are your instructions.
When they saw this matter, they engaged
and you
me,
instructed them.
And I allowed them to go on.
Yeah, but that's an instruction.
I allowed them to go on.
Yes, that's you instructed them.
Yes, in the public
to sue
service.
The minister.
In public service, if you feel offended, you are allowed even to sue your employer. Or to put the matter to the employer, say, please, this matter is not correct. The information you have is not correct. So what you do in that respect, you go on the table and you provide clarity. But if the person does not want this clarity or does not agree with it, the courts of laws are there to solve the matter. Okay. But going forward, we can only see that we are going to deal with this matter internally as UIA and try to find out actually if there was an error.
You're not going to court anyway?
No, it depends on what my lawyers advise, but I cannot confirm that for now.
Okay, unfortunately, we've gone into the ping pong of associations and we have not talked about the investment atmosphere, environment in Uganda. Where do we stand now? Uganda as an investment destination?
According to an ACTAD recent report, Uganda is number 3 in terms of attracting foreign direct investment.
Number 3 out of what? Of which ones?
In the whole of Africa, ranked number 3. According to the investment forum in terms of associations for the African
investment
meetings, they rank Uganda as the most attractive country for investors with the most favorable investment climate and opportunities.
And how do we end up scoring that? Sounds good though, but how do we?
Let me confirm that this to you. 1. There's no country in Africa where there's free mobility of capital and profits. When you go to the other neighboring countries, when you invest there, you have restrictions in terms of moving your money back somewhere else where you have got it and the profits. But in Uganda, the policy allows you to move your money and even the profits to invest it somewhere else outside the country. To the investors, this is very important. Free mobility of the key factor of product, which is capital. The second one.
But there should be a reason why some countries are reluctant to let their money leave their countries.
And I want to.
That's more or less
and the reason
capital flight.
The main reason is they have attained certain level of development. Now, if you see some other countries like the way started, like you hear Dubai. This is how Dubai started. It allowed everybody to move in, do invest, and move out and do everything else. Later, when they attained some level of development, they started trying to control, to put restrictions on nuts. But this is to stimulate investment in key sectors which are virgin, This is what Uganda does. The second one is that if you look at Uganda's stability politically, although some people talk about that you having one president, this is there's nowhere they say that if you are electing a president or president, you should not elect the same president. If the constitution provides for that, and it allows people to vote and they vote for that, that is a different matter. But I want to confirm to you in terms of political stability, especially security, people's investments.
I wonder how you calculate that for a country that has never had a smooth transfer of power. For people who want to invest here long term,
yes.
Doesn't that become a problem?
Let me give you let me ask you the question. If you look at Kenya, recently, was Ruto just voted in and sworn in? Have you heard what is happening in Kenya? It is not the change of a president that guarantees peace and security. What's happening
in Kenya? Kenya's business is still going on.
But you had the challenges which they have.
Yeah, but they had a democratic right to protest. They were never stopped. It is actually showing you that it's a democratic country where people can protest and the president can listen to them, which is something good. And Kenya continues to move.
Yes, it continues to move, but you have had some challenges in structural business and other aspects. If you go some other countries also, it is not the president that determines who comes to the country. But what we are saying is there security for your investments and predictability. And having still one president where you are sure of his ability and commitment in terms of policy, facilitating investors, is one way of stability also. And the question that will be there, what is there, is that when the transition comes, we have people who can continue this and better it. And I think that is true. And we have a number of people, younger people who have grown up, even the old ones, who can take over from the president at any time when the time comes and when the people decide. But the other one is that we are in the heart of the whole world, besides Africa. So everybody finds it's easy to transact and move and do business in Uganda here. And the only limitation which we need to address is how do our people prepare themselves to tap from this capital, the money which is coming, and also as to improve our business environment and also some management of to improve in terms of the doing business environment in terms of cost of capital as a country to attract low-cost financing so that we become more competitive in terms of building capacity of our local investors. And I think when we address that, we should be able to move to another level.
Dr. Kyalimpa, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll open the line so that you who's listening, you should also have your say. And please, in case you disagree with Dr. Kyalimpa, that's okay. That's the normal way of debate. But remember to disagree with respect. We'll be right. Welcome back to 933 KFM, and this is the Hot Seat. My name is Patrick Kamara, and my guest tonight is the outgoing Deputy Executive Director of Uganda Investment Authority, Dr. Paul Kyalimpa. And Dr. Kyalimpa wrote last year, I think in May, to indicating that he wants to take early retirement. And you have heard what has been going on. Probably you listened to the words of the minister when she was here a couple of days back with a lot of allegations on the members of staff of UIA. I have a call online. Hello.
Good evening, Patrick.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, you're talking to a Cody, and Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You know, I have one or two concerns. First of all, it's so absurd that the service award in the most of the institution is being misused. If Doctor today, if we are here and the outcry of all Ugandans, they are saying, can we refund back this money? And you have heard me saying that you're not ready to return the money. But Ugandans are saying, Doctor, please refund the money. Now, two, Doctor, now, since you're still in the office, however much you have resigned, the project has been extended. You wanted yourself before the project was accomplished. Should I assume that in the period you're still in the office, though you have resigned, should we await that you're hoping for another service award, the period you're going to be in the office? Then finally, if this award was legal and you're doing it according to the constitution in UIA, why told the minister, your boss, if it was legal? Thanks for the show.
Thank you very much. And that is Mr. Mike Ekode.
Kamara, you're live at Busega. I'm Juma.
Juma, go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Greeting to Doctor as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Doctor, resignation is normal. But I'm praying, as you are resigning, we need your desk to remain clean and super. Because the judicial system in Uganda today also, it is not balanced. You find the person who has issues with domestic violence are being denied to be given a bail, but someone who has stolen maybe billions of government funds, just one day, the second day, has been given bail. So for you yourself, it's okay. You can resign, but let your office not to cry that there is a shortage, you left. Thank you for the show.
Juma in Busega, thank you so much, sir. All right, probably maybe I can take another caller before you respond. Hello.
Sure.
Okay, let's have you respond to these. There are about two questions from Mike, from Mr. Kode,
yes,
and Juma in Busega.
Hello.
We have a caller, man. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Thank you so much for this show. I want to make something known to you, Mr. Kamara.
Yes.
That there was a time when, before this current CEO, this one who wants to go out, there was a lady who was the head of investment authority. And a certain global research was done on choosing the best globally. After so much scrutiny, they narrowed down 3. After another scrutiny, she was actually chosen to be the best investment CEO globally. At that time, there was a crisis that came up. It became, you know how riots begin, mob, and then the case was taken, to the president, and then she was taken out by the board. Now, this board is implicated in this PR nightmare we are hearing. Now, if this gentleman will not acknowledge that lady had actually won that CEO award, that global award, meaning that actually the success was much before, and actually if anyone was supposed to get the honorary award was the other one. And that is where the corruption begins, because it becomes politicized.
Okay. Let me have Dr. Kyalimpa respond. Let me have Dr. Kyalimpa respond. Yes, go right ahead, sir.
Thank you. From the feedback I've got, actually, I note that the listeners did not understand what honorarium is. Honorarium is not a service award. I want to tell you that, let me give you an example of what honorarium is. Here, Mr. Kamara, who is, if I say is a producer as an example, is a moderator in KFM, is paid money for being a moderator or a producer. But now, if the cleaner or a security guard for KFM resigns and leaves, or is chased away, is terminated, and they tell Mr. Kamara here, besides being a producer or moderator, we want you to take on additional role of a security guard. In this respect, this work of being a security guard or a cleaner is outside the work of a producer. So Mr. Kamara will be given additional some allowance, extra work or duty allowance. For the extra time he puts in, besides being a moderator or a producer, to doing cleaning or being a security guard. And until the time when a new security guard or a cleaner is recruited. Now, that additional allowance, which is over and above the amount of money he is earning as a moderator, is what they call honoraria. Now, that money allowance is calculated per day, and the formula is the number of days you have worked divided by 30, according to a manual, divided by 30 times 60% of your basic pay. So it is a small percentage of what you earn here, and that is gross. Now, this is the allowance. So there is nothing like an award. And I want to confirm and clarify to the listeners that it was a temporary deployment of UIA staff and other specialists who were recruited in short term to fill in the role of supervising a contractor for about 6 months as the recruitment of the supervising consultant was ongoing. When the procurement or recruitment of a consultant who was supposed to supervise the project was done, the contractor, the new consultant took over and stopped there. And we are paid for this money for that period when it's still doing. The question should be, at that time, could we have left the contractor to do the work without a supervisor? And yet, we could not deploy any other company, and because they have to go through procurement process. So in that process, when we presented it to Minister of Finance, Steering Committee, and the board, they said, you present a proposal where UIA staff, also backed up by other technical experts from who are temporary for this period, would supervise the contractor until such a time when the procurement for a new supervising consultant is done. And when that was done, our work ended there. And according to the law and the project manual and the human resource manual for UIA and public service, it provides that if you are given additional work beyond your normal duty schedule, what you are supposed to do, you are given some allowance for that. And that the calculation, as I've said, according to UIA Human Resource Manual, it is in the number of days you have worked, because the payment is calculated per day. Even if you worked for 2 days or 3 days, they will give you that for one of those days. So it is the number of days worked divided by 30 times 60% of the basic pay which you get on your job. And if you look at the 14 staff who worked, on average, each staff got about 5 million gross. If you remove the taxes on that money, each staff got about 3.something million per month as additional. Really, when you look at how, and the government, if the contractor had not been terminated, the amount of money would have been paid within the period when the procurement process took place would have paid 6.4 billion to the consultant, supervising consultant. But for us in that period, we were paid only 500 million for that period. So we saved 5.9 billion to government, and that money is available and is going to be deployed to do other services. And actually, we should be getting a certificate of good performance.
Dr. Paul Kyalimpa, in the interest of time, I'm going to ask you to give us your concluding remarks.
Thank you, Kamara, and thank you, our listeners. I hope now I have clarified that actually there's nothing like service award. That's a misinterpretation. That's a marketing word to say this propaganda. And I want to confirm to you, this is not correct, and the whole context was misunderstood. Two, people did not know, and I think there's a lack of information, that the contractor has not transferred the money. Not refused, but he wanted to charge 25% interest. If he had transferred this money to a account in Bank of Uganda, this money should not have risen, because we would have paid, the government of Uganda is the one who would have paid us the allowance. So we would not be writing the contractor to pay. But we want to confirm that the contract, in the new contract arrangements which we have worked on, the money will go directly to UIA account in Bank of Uganda. And this matter is not going to come up again. Then lastly, all the due processes, the legal procedures were followed. Staff worked and they were paid for the work they did until a new supervising consultant was put in place. So I want to tell and confirm to everybody that this money, the information we have had is misinformation. And some people have been talking about it, do not have information actually, that from the contract, from the funds we had, there were 2 lines. One for project infrastructure, the second one for project supervision for UIA, amounting to 7.7 million euros. So just know that none of your money is lost. And actually we saved you, saved the government of Uganda and the people of Uganda 5.9 billion. Okay. So we deserve actually a certificate of as an award recognition.
Dr. Paul Kyalimpa, you have asked for early retirement. Once again, where are you headed?
I'm going to be a local investor. Then besides that, I'm going to do my postdoctoral training after PhD. I want to be a professor. Then lastly, I want to engage locally in shaping the development spectrum or environment for Uganda, and to ensure that as a country we are moving to another level.
All right, Dr. Paul Kyalimpa, outgoing Deputy Executive Director, Uganda Investment Authority. I want to thank you so much for your boldness, for coming here, also for trying to put matters straight. And this so much balance is what the minister said, because in our trade, if somebody says, then we'll have to give you an opportunity to respond. And for you, the listeners, I want to thank you for the privilege of your company.
Sure.
Good night and God bless Uganda.